Welcome back. Last time we saw the chicks we were down to 5, but they were doing okay, although some were definitely smaller than others, but they seemed to be doing okay. But then the weather took a real turn for the worse. It got much colder, lots of rain, and the parents were clearly finding great difficulty in finding enough food. But nevertheless, it was a real shock a couple of days later to find there were only 2 chicks left. 3 of them had died and been taken away by the parents. The male still bringing in food, but he still seems to be having a bit of difficulty in understanding quite how to feed them. He goes from one chick to the other, doesn't always seem to drop the food off, and he's really not quite getting the hang of it. But he does persevere. He seems to come back with more food than the female does, but of course she's spent a huge amount of time brooding the chicks during the cold weather, although that just wasn't successful enough. It was too cold for them. Then, what a terrible shock. 1 more of the chicks has died, looking really pathetic and small at the back of the nest there. Now, our one final chick, which we've called Steady Eddie, his eyes are now beginning to open. You can just see they've opened a little bit. The male's bringing in food, but the female comes in with nesting material or vegetation, and she sort of tries to give that to the chick. She seems very confused and sort of stressed by what's happened, but she does eventually take the dead chick away, carrying it out of the nest and flopping down when she got outside because it was really quite heavy for her to carry. Now, over on the Ashdown Forest at our old Lodge Nature Reserve, I've been watching a pair of Redstarts, and they seem to have been doing much better at finding food. I don't know how many chicks they've got, but certainly during the time I was watching them, they were back and forth with food all of the time. A crane fly there, there's the female with a spider by the look of it, and the male with lots of flies. They were just constantly toing and froing with food all of the time. Seem to be dealing much better with the weather. But the rain comes back again, and Steady Eddie is all alone. But he is growing. He's getting more and more feathers, and he seems to be getting a good bit bigger. But the female comes in with more leaves. She still seems a bit distressed and unsure of what to do. The male, on the other hand, bringing some food in. It is very hard for them to find food when it's raining like this. But eventually the weather does clear up a bit, and the female settles down. She's looking after the chick a bit better now, brooding it and bringing in some food. And at least Steady Eddie's got no competition with his siblings, so he's getting all of the attention. So come back in a couple of days and we'll see just how he's been getting on.